Kylie Kelce stunned the audience when she unexpectedly stormed off the set of Today with Jenna and Friends after a tense exchange during a live segment. What was meant to be a warm, conversational interview about her personal and professional life took an abrupt turn when the hosts pressed her with a probing question about her husband's ongoing controversies. As the tone grew increasingly uncomfortable, Kylie's calm demeanor unraveled, her voice sharpened, the studio felt suddenly smaller, and in a moment of frustration, she stood up, uttered a curt, "I'm done," and walked off as cameras lingered awkwardly on the empty space her departure left behind. Backstage sources claim the tension had been simmering even before the cameras started rolling. According to one crew member, Kylie was taken aback when she saw the pre-interview notes, which included several pointed topics she had not agreed to discuss. She allegedly asked producers to steer clear of anything related to her family's recent headlines, but mid-interview, Jenna reportedly circled back to those very subjects. Viewers watching live noticed Kylie's smile tightening and her hands fidgeting as she tried to keep the conversation light. However, the moment a remark was made that she felt crossed the line, something she later described as an invasion into personal matters, the atmosphere snapped. Within seconds, the polite on-air banter turned into a visible standoff, with Kylie refusing to elaborate and the hosts trying to press forward. Eyewitnesses say the breaking point came when a follow-up question was delivered in a way Kylie perceived as condescending. She reportedly shifted in her seat, glanced toward the producers off-camera, and gave a brief shake of her head before responding with a terse, "I think we're done here." The live audience gasped as she removed her microphone, set it on the coffee table, and stood up. Jenna attempted to smooth things over with a nervous laugh, while one of the co-hosts tried to redirect to a lighter topic, but Kylie was already walking toward the stage exit. Cameras caught a flash of her muttering something under her breath before disappearing behind the curtain, leaving the hosts momentarily stunned and scrambling to fill the awkward silence. Backstage sources revealed that producers immediately went into damage control mode, attempting to coax Kylie back for the remainder of the segment. One insider claimed that while some staff members apologized, Kylie remained visibly frustrated, reportedly telling them she felt the conversation had crossed into personal territory that had no place in a daytime talk show. Meanwhile, on air, Jenna and her co-hosts tried to maintain composure, quickly cutting to a commercial break while avoiding direct mention of the walk-off. Social media lit up within minutes, with clips of the moment being reposted across multiple platforms, sparking intense debates over whether the questions were fair journalism or inappropriate prying into a guest's personal life. By the following morning, the incident had become a trending topic nationwide, drawing in both fans and critics. Supporters of Kylie praised her for standing her ground and refusing to entertain what they saw as disrespectful questioning, while detractors argued that walking off set was unprofessional and overshadowed her intended message. Neither Kylie nor the show's producers have issued a full public statement, though brief remarks from a representative hinted at ongoing conversations between both parties. Industry insiders suggest this may not be the last time tensions flare between outspoken celebrities and daytime talk show hosts, a reminder of just how easily live television can veer off script. Later that week, paparazzi caught Kylie arriving at a charity event, where she was asked directly about the walk-off. She smiled politely but avoided delving into specifics, instead redirecting the conversation toward the cause she was there to support. Still, subtle hints in her tone suggested lingering frustration, and those who know her well claimed she was more hurt than angry about how the exchange unfolded. Behind the scenes, producers reportedly reached out to her team in hopes of smoothing things over, but there was no confirmation on whether she'd ever agree to return to the show. In the court of public opinion, however, the moment had already cemented itself as one of the most talked about daytime TV clashes of the year. Social media remained divided, with some accusing the show of intentionally provoking Kylie for ratings, while others felt she overreacted to a harmless conversation. Hashtags supporting both sides trended for days, and fan edits of the moment, complete with dramatic background music, circulated widely on TikTok. Even late-night hosts couldn't resist slipping in a few jokes about the walk-off, framing it as another example of how unpredictable live television can be. Regardless of where people stood on the matter, one thing was certain: Kylie Kelce's exit had ignited a conversation that reached far beyond the studio walls, touching on respect, boundaries, and the pressure of the public spotlight. Producers of the show eventually released a brief statement acknowledging that the segment did not go as planned, and expressing hope that Kylie would return in the future. Behind the scenes, however, rumors swirled about whether the tense exchange had been the result of a miscommunication or a pre-interview topic gone wrong. Some insiders claimed that Kylie's team had set clear boundaries before the taping, and when those boundaries were crossed, her decision to walk off was a deliberate stand for self-respect rather than a spontaneous flare of temper. This fueled further debate online, as fans praised her for holding her ground while critics argued that walking away from a national platform could hurt her image. In the days following the incident, social media lit up with clips from the broadcast, dissected frame by fans and commentators alike. Hashtags like #TeamKylie and #MorningShowDrama trended, with thousands of users weighing in on whether the hosts had crossed a line. Meanwhile, media analysts noted that the walk-off had inadvertently boosted ratings for the episode, sparking speculation about whether the tension had been organic or partially engineered for attention. Kylie herself remained tight-lipped, posting only a cryptic Instagram story reading, "Boundaries are healthy." This left both supporters and critics hungry for a fuller explanation of her side of the story. Producers for Today with Jenna and Friends reportedly reached out to Kylie's representatives to arrange a private conversation in hopes of mending fences, but sources close to the situation claimed she was hesitant to return calls. Behind the scenes, crew members described the moment she left as palpable tension, with some saying they'd never seen a guest exit so decisively. Others defended Kylie's reaction, pointing out that live TV can sometimes back guests into uncomfortable corners without warning. While no official statement has been made by the network, whispers of an on-air apology segment began circulating, leaving fans wondering if a reconciliation, or an even bigger confrontation, was on the horizon. Meanwhile, social media lit up with clips of the moment, quickly racking up millions of views within hours. Hashtags like #TeamKylie and #AwkwardandToday began trending, with viewers fiercely debating whether Kylie was justified in walking out or if she had overreacted to a heated but ultimately harmless exchange. Some fans praised her for standing her ground, calling her exit iconic and a masterclass in knowing your worth, while others argued she could have stayed to clarify her point and diffuse the tension. The viral buzz even caught the attention of media outlets far beyond the US, with tabloids in the UK and Australia running their own versions of the story, fueling the drama's momentum across continents. By the following morning, producers from the Today with Jenna and Friends team were reportedly in crisis mode, holding emergency meetings to address the fallout. According to behind-the-scenes insiders, several staff members were worried that the incident could damage the show's image as a lighthearted and friendly program, especially since Kylie's walk-off starkly contrasted with its usual upbeat tone. Executives debated whether to issue a formal apology to Kylie or let the controversy fade naturally, but tensions only grew when anonymous sources suggested Kylie might share her side of the story in a tell-all podcast appearance. With every hour, speculation mounted over whether this was just a one-day ratings spike or the beginning of a long-term public relations headache for the show. Kylie, meanwhile, remained silent on social media, posting nothing beyond a photo of her dog on Instagram, which only fueled curiosity among fans and the media. Comment sections under her previous posts turned into forums for wild theories about what had been said during the commercial break and whether she had been deliberately provoked. While some supporters urged her to speak her truth, others praised her for handling herself with dignity and walking away before the argument escalated further. Rumors swirled that private conversations were happening between Kylie's representatives and other networks, potentially opening the door for future interviews or collaborations, moves that could reshape her public narrative entirely. Behind the scenes, sources close to the production claimed there was immediate damage control once Kylie left. Producers allegedly rushed to Jenna's dressing room to strategize how to address the incident on air without deepening the controversy. Some staff members worried the clip of Kylie's walk-off, already circulating online, could overshadow the rest of the week's planned segments. Others privately admitted they feared it might impact the show's ability to book high-profile guests in the future, especially if those guests perceived the environment as confrontational. While NBC declined to release an official statement, whispers of a behind-the-scenes apology tour began to circulate, suggesting the network was eager to smooth things over before the situation spiraled further.